Hey, it's Reanna with What's Up Worcester, and I am here today with Kaz from Kazakiyah's Hair Studio here in Worcester, located on Green Street. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm very happy to be here with you today.
Thank you very much. Welcome.
Thank you. So let's just get right into it.
hmm
A hair studio. How did you get into doing hair?
My mom was a hairstylist growing up, and I think like most kids and their parents, you don't really know what they do. You don't really care what they do as long as they have enough money to buy you what you want.
Yes.
So, over the years, she would always tell me about her clients and this and that. And my mom's very passionate about the industry. I just didn't really understand the impact that it really had on people until I ended up dropping out of high school when I was 17. And while I was in Hawaii, my mom ended up opening up her own hair studio, named it after herself. And when I came back from Hawaii, I just kind of helped her out around the studio, you know. I'm my mom's firstborn, so I kind of felt not like I owed her, but I wanted to support her,
Yeah.
you know. So started with little stuff like painting around the spot and stuff. And I originally went to school for computer sciences, so I kind of brought that expertise to my mom's brand, and I just pretty much just started with doing stuff with her software, her website, profit and loss statements, just stuff to kind of keep her organized
Yeah.
and kind of just keep her going. Got her a sign, just started to do all these things just to kind of get her going while she's cutting people's hair. And it's crazy too, because I don't know if you've ever sat and watched someone who's really good at what they do anything. It's kind of magical to watch.
Yeah.
There's like this flow to it. It's beautiful. So I would sit there and every now and then I'd look up and just watch the process happen, and it's like it fixates you. You can't look away, and then you see the transformation. Then you see how these women look and how they sit in the chair and how they start pursing their lips and stuff in the mirror. It was very powerful to
It
see.
really is an art. It's an art, and hairstylists are not just hairstylists. They're therapists. They're, sometimes your best friend. They're
Everything in it you need at the
everything that you
moment.
need in the moment, right? And they're helping you feel your best. And I know I haven't been to a hair salon in a very long time, but I know that feeling when you leave there, it's like, "Oof, can't tell me nothing," right?
I feel like that being able to provide that feeling is up there with like a superpower.
Yeah.
You know, you have the ability to really impact people's lives. My tagline for the hair studio is looking good is feeling good. And I stand by that all day long. It doesn't really matter what your aesthetic is this way. It's more so how you feel about yourself. And
Yeah.
if you can just add a little bit of extra confidence to someone's life or give them a reason to want to, wake up in the morning and have that pep in their step, it's priceless.
That's awesome. So when did you take helping your mom out, like kind of behind the scenes? When did you make the switch to actually doing hair yourself?
When I got extremely overwhelmed with the typical salon dynamic, it was just a lot for me. Mind you, I was 18 years old and I'm surrounded by women 24/7, very confident, strong, beautiful women talking about all sorts of stuff. And half the time my mom's like, "Oh, Cass, cover your ears, you don't want to hear this." And it just was a lot. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Um, so I stopped and I started working for other companies, and it was very fast that I realized. Because you have to understand, for that about almost a year, I'm essentially being self everything, self motivated. She wasn't asking me to do any of these tasks that I was
Right.
doing. I just saw that they needed to be done, and I did them at 18. So here I am, 19, 20, trying to work for these companies, Google, car dealerships, doing all these different things for marketing and branding. And I was like, I can't work for anybody. I have all these ideas, I have all this passion, I have all this hard work and dedication. And if you work for someone, they tell you what you're worth.
Yeah.
They tell you how much you make, they tell you what you can take home. And there was just something about that. It's not that I don't work well with others. I just can't put my worth, my value in your hands.
Right.
So once I realized that, I was like, all right, I'm gonna take over my mom's salon when she retires. It was kind of like almost like a little typical thing, like, oh, she owns it, I'll take it over when she retires. And but with that thought came, I have to go to school.
Right.
I don't know if you know any stories of like people that just inherited businesses or brands or corporations and they know nothing about it. It's
Yeah,
really hard to really keep a hold on that business,
absolutely.
especially if it's successful and it has a lot of moving parts. So I went to school just for the simple fact that I wanted to know how the dollar was generated in that dynamic and what they had to do it. I didn't have any desire to do hair,
Okay.
if that makes sense. I wanted to take over the salon. I knew it was profitable. I started to know, understand all the numbers on the back end, but it
And you
wasn't
wanted
like,
people to work for you
yeah, for sure.
doing the
I had
hair,
no
and you
desire to
just
do
wanted
hair.
to stay behind the scenes.
100%. 100%.
Wow. And boy, did that change.
Yeah, when I went to school, I was just competitive in that environment. So I didn't realize the long-term effects of hard work dedication. Like
Yeah.
you do something right here, right now, and there's gonna be an effect to that, a positive effect to that down the
Right.
line. It might be a short term or it might be a long term, but there is gonna be some sort of positive effect to that level of like dedication. I just didn't realize that being competitive at school will kind of lead to me having a strong academic baseline when it came to doing hair.
So when did you have the realization like, wow, I'm really good at this and I really want to do this?
When I graduated school, I immediately went back to my mom's studio to work, but I went as a manager, like I went like with a managerial capacity. I wasn't taking clients, and I had my first kid at 19, and I needed money, and I asked my mom like for more money, essentially like a raise, you know? She's like, if you want more money, take clients. You're not gonna make any money, man. You'll never be
I
like,
mean, that's a real mom response.
but it was like a two-prong response. It was like you're never gonna make tons of money managing,
Yeah.
right? Like it's a capped number. Even if it's a salary number, it's capped. Or you can take clients and there is no cap.
Yeah.
So if you really want money that bad, start taking clients. That Friday, I'll never forget it. That Friday I had a client, and that one client, I had one client only. And I remember I would come in on Fridays just for this one client. And I think at some point she started to realize that I only was coming in for her. And she asked one day, she was like, am I the only client? I was like, of course not. No, no, no.
You got to
For
fake the
sure.
funk
No, no,
for a
no.
second. Yeah.
And then you start generating reviews and things. And it was really, I don't want to say it was for the money at first, but it kind of was.
Yeah.
You know, it was just a necessity that I had to fill. I had bills to pay and I had a kid. It wasn't like I loved doing hair. It was like, oh, I love the hair and the blow dry and the shampoo. Like, oh my God. I was like, I'm good enough to do it well. I'm good enough to do it to get people to come back, lean into that
Okay.
and go from there. But I didn't really, it wasn't like I knew I was good at first at all. I just was like, all right, I can do this, I guess. People are
When
coming
did you
back.
realize that you were good at it? Like, so did people just start praising your work? Was it something that you grew into? Did it come naturally to you? Like,
I think it was a combination of reviews, like getting the reviews online and things, and then most of my clients that weren't people that were most of my clients weren't like little girls who have never gotten their hair done before.
yeah,
These are grown women who have gotten their hair done all over the world plenty of times, and they're like,
they
no,
know what
this
they
is
want.
they know what's good, and
Yeah.
they know what's not good. So I think it was just a culmination of the fact that the majority of the clients that I would service 9 times out of 10 were overly excited about what I was doing in comparison to my peers or comparison to just other stylists in general. And I think that's when it kind of started, when I started to like,
That's completely like that's dope. You know, when you get the feedback and you're hearing it and you're like, wow, I'm really good at this. Like, I need to elevate this a little bit more and see where it goes. And then it brings you to something like this,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So,
for
how
sure.
did you end up opening up your own studio?
It was like 3 or 4 years ago. My mom and I had like a slight falling out at the studio that we worked that I had worked at her place, and it just pretty I had like a I was I was I was forced to make a decision, either continue to do what I had already invested about 10 years into, or just kind of let that affect what I was doing and then just have that fizzle off into anything. And then here I am starting,
Yeah.
a record label or whatever. But I didn't want to do that. I felt a slight responsibility to my clients, and I felt a bigger responsibility to myself to capture all of that hard work. Like there was no way I was just about to be like, oh, all right, well, some shit happened and I'm just gonna walk away.
Right.
I couldn't in my heart. I couldn't. So I ended up I don't know if you guys know Dominican John. He's a pretty good guy for the city. He's a big guy for the city in the sense of he's very pro Worcester, and he's very progressive Worcester. And one day he posted on Facebook that the Worcester Public Market had a spot open for a pop up, and that was right after everything had happened, and I was kind of already looking to expand my clientele to Worcester. I just didn't know how, especially coming from already working kind of for myself in Westboro. I just didn't know how to make that transition. So I literally came here in the market, I think like 3 years ago or 4 years ago, did one haircut in the market, and I got shut down because you can't cut hair in the market, like food and stuff.
Oh yeah, it makes sense. But
I didn't know that. I mean, I
yeah.
asked permission, they said yes. So I went, and that one haircut, the guy who runs the market, Dom, came up to me. He was like, beautiful haircut, but I gotta shut you down. We can't have hair here, Board of Health. But let me show you around, and maybe you can do the pop up somewhere else because this is
Okay.
nice. Like we like this. He showed me this place, and at the time those Canal District wines. I don't know if you remember. They ended up moving over there to the other side of the market, but they were in here. They had wine bottles all over the walls. They had a little like cash out station here. It looked absolutely nothing like this. And I probably got to the top of those stairs, and I saw this almost exactly this.
Yeah.
By the time I got to that stairs, while looking at all their shit in here. Sorry, I
No.
didn't mean to swear.
It's okay.
I'm actually really glad I haven't sworn yet. That was it. And I was like, listen, respectfully, I don't want to do a pop-up. I want to open up my own spot here. And I talked to him for about a minute. He was like, if you can convince my my business partner, Alan, I
Yeah.
love it.
I mean, I'm a strong believer in the universe in that it works how we work it. And you manifested that, man. Like it was your dream brought to fruition. But yeah, it's definitely a dope vibe in here, and I love your vision.
I wanted to create something very unique. Like growing up in the hood, growing up how I grew up, a barbershop was like everything, but it was very typical.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then obviously being around a salon environment with working with my mother and even the different salons that she had worked at over the years, they're two very strong environments,
Right.
and they're not the most welcoming to the masses, right? Your typical person who's going to a barbershop is not and will not go to a typical hair salon expecting a barber haircut.
Right.
And as you shouldn't.
Right.
Vice versa.
So do you do both?
We do everything.
Yeah.
We literally do everything. And my hope is to have different stylists in here to facilitate the different services that I don't do or that, the other people in here don't do. But the aim was to create a space that everyone felt welcome. Aesthetically pleasing enough for everybody. Not too masculine, not too feminine. I mean, I'm a man, so like I had to feel comfortable in my space as well too at the end of the day. But not just something art forward, something personal to you. You don't have to pick a number off the wall or feel like you have to get your hair done in this way because this is the only thing that this salon is known for. But I'm very, very, very blessed and thankful for what we've been able to create and the impact that it's had on the city. Because I know for a fact, like in my heart and just the receipts, that we've made a positive impact on our community for sure.
That's awesome. I love to hear that. Yeah. So, is there anything that you yourself specialize in?
Men's cuts, women's cuts, color.
I mean, I've seen your work on your social media, and you do absolutely beautiful work.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Very, very beautiful.
Thank you.
if I had longer locks and
You don't need
was a
longer hair.
little
I can still do it.
braver, was a little braver,
I can still do it.
I'd be scheduling my appointment. But
You know what it is though, for real though? I don't what I specialize in is making the person look good with what they got. I think oftentimes you go to a place and they try to like force you into this. And it's not sustainable when you get home. You go home, you wash your hair. Even if a guy he gets enhancement sprayed all on his hairline and everything, he goes home, you wash it out. That's not now what?
yeah, that's probably one of the biggest issues I have is I can't style my own hair very well.
Mhm.
So simple haircuts, something that I'm not going to need to put, and I also have a bunch of kids that I run around after. So something easy for me to do myself, and that if I can't get to it that day, it's not going to look horrible.
Yeah.
Um,
I know exactly what you mean.
yeah, it's just like
Most haircuts don't necessarily match the lifestyle or the color match the lifestyle of the client.
exactly. That's
And
what I
that's
was
where
just going to say.
That's where you get the best blend where it looks good when you go to style it. Of
Mhm.
course, when you polish something up, it's meant to look better. But in your everyday state, in your everyday world, it's meant to look good and accent what you already have going on. That's like the best kind of the looks that look the best.
And how comfortable are you? So say a client comes in with an inspo picture, right? And you're just like, no, girl, that's just not for you. Are you comfortable with that? Like working with them to come up with a happy medium, or
Yeah.
do you kind of just go with the flow?
The biggest thing is communication. I have tons of new clients all the time, and the only way you can get a stranger that I've never met to walk through that door and to spend 2.5+ hours in here and $400+ and for them to leave happy is communication. Very clear lines of communication. Um, Mirroring the person to get them to feel comfortable to communicate, right? Because I'm not a mind reader, so I can't assume that you have to use your words to tell me, but I have to create the environment for you to feel comfortable to use your words. And the best consultations are the ones that have the best communication and managing expectations.
Yeah.
Managing the
I was
client's
just going to say that.
expectations. Probably it goes hand in hand with with my ability to
Right.
to do whatever you want to
Well,
do.
when the expectations are there from the start, it just makes your job so much easier, and the client feel more comfortable.
But people come in all the time with pictures, and I'm very competitive. So if you show me a picture, I'm going to try to look. I will create that exact picture. Most times, I have to tell a person that this picture that you want is not appropriate for what you have or the long-term goals that you have for your hair, and that's just where the communication comes in.
And do you find that they appreciate that?
I'd say most do, but because humans are creatures of habit, at the end of the day, we're impulsive and we want what we want, especially when we want it. So I think sometimes there's a bit of a crossroad where, if a woman insists on something, if a client insists on something, and it's not necessarily a deal breaker for how I run my business ethically, I'll do it.
Okay.
Because it's your hair, right?
Yeah.
You're a grown woman. I lay all the things out for you, and if you insist on something, like I said, as long as it doesn't affect my ethical boundaries as a business owner and as a hairstylist, I'll do it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I loved hearing your story about how you got started. And so now let's talk about what you have going on other than right here in the studio. You have Worcester's first hair show happening, right?
So I thought it was Worcester's first hair show, but I asked around, and about 10 years ago and 10 years ago plus, there were some hair shows already. So I just as a person who loves to pay homage to things, I'm not gonna call it Worcester's first hair show because by definition it's not. However, respectfully, it is definitely gonna be the first hair show of its kind.
Okay.
For
I like
sure,
that.
for sure. I'm really excited for this specific showcase because this is an opportunity for Worcester to raise its vibration to where it needs to be, right? Like you spoke about law of attraction and manifestation earlier. There's all these pockets of talent and all these pockets of dedication and manifestation happening all over the city.
Absolutely.
And we see it. How powerful would it be if you brought it together? And that's what I want to do. I mean, I know for a fact there's more than enough to go around. I'm in the middle of hair salons and barbershops all over this block.
Yeah,
They don't affect me and I don't affect them in the sense of we have our clients. You know,
right.
they have what they're good at. I have what I'm good at. There's no need for animosity. There's no need for negativity. There's no need for anything other than teamwork and a certain sense of mutual respect and collaboration.
Absolutely. I was going to say that. Collaboration is a big one. So what can we expect at this hair show?
So it's going to be a combination of showcasing really uh, cool haircuts, colors, braids, all the different hairstyles that the city has to offer, with a combination of fashion show, art show. Yeah, it's gonna be super, 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 super intense. I'm very, very excited.
So will the hairstylists that are there, will they be doing the hair for the fashion show?
Yeah, I'm trying to get as many local hairstylists involved as possible. If you guys are watching this, I don't know when this is gonna get aired, but if you guys are watching this anytime before the show, please, guys, if you're a hairstylist, braider, barber, nail tech, lash tech, makeup artist, photographer, videographer, if you're a creative in any sort of form, this is a formal invitation for you to be a part of this show because it's gonna be better when we're all involved. The goal is for all of us to join forces and to showcase it. I have specific looks that I do want showcased, and so hopefully we get a good amount enough models to showcase these different looks, and then we'll just collab with specific stylists to get this look.
Awesome. Well, you heard that, Worcester. So if you fit into any of those categories, please hit up Kaz. We will be dropping his info at the end of the show. So stick around for that so you can get in touch with him to be part of the hair show. Is there anything else that you would like Worcester to know?
No, just stick around. You know, this May we'll be celebrating 4 years in business, and yeah, we don't really have any plans on stopping anytime soon.
Okay. So can you tell everybody how they can contact you? Are you on any socials?
Yeah, we have Instagram. You can find us on Google, Kazakiyah's Hair Studio. We have website, Facebook, TikTok. Just Google Kazakiyah's Hair Studio and all of our corresponding social media platforms you can get from there.
Awesome. Thank you so much for taking
Thank
the
you.
time to speak with me today. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.